first that was all going well, and then it was like I couldn't keep up with my own racing thoughts, and it's like, and the plans got more and more and more complicated, and and I would just be sitting there spinning my wheels, making plans, and not actually doing anything. You know, and my blog writing entries got more and more incoherent. I mean, they definitely got very rambly stream of consciousness, and then just kind of they totally stopped making sense for a while. And people were commenting on it online. They were like, "What's happening? Something's wrong." I was actually going to move. I was aware that I was aware I was addicted. I knew that. I was traveling a lot to the East Coast for escorting anyway, and I thought this would be a good way to get away from San Francisco and away from my dealers, my connection. And I had totally alienated everyone except you, who I'd met, a 10 years younger version of you then. You actually helped me, load up the van. But I'd alienated just about everyone else I knew at that point. But I basically was on that road trip. I made a road trip cross country to Providence, and it was basically like halfway across the country where I just completely lost touch with reality. Like I was just completely gone, and went totally batshit crazy, and really basically cheated death. Like, it's amazing I didn't get arrested or have something really awful happen. But then I finally did get arrested because I sort of things were so bad by the time I got to the other end of the country, other side of the country, that by the time I was in Massachusetts near Rhode Island, I had lost the van, lost everything in it, and was sleeping on the steps of a Catholic church in Brockton, Massachusetts. And so I was there it was like Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on the back steps of this Catholic church, or Friday morning, and there was a parochial school behind the church. It was part of, I guess, their Catholic complex there. This caretaker came and woke me up and was like, "You got to get out, get out of here, go away." And I went into a rage and screamed and chased him into that school behind the church, and ended up throwing something at the window, and it broke, and the cops came and arrested me, and I also kicked out the window of the cop car, and they maced me. And luckily, they recommended, they were like, he obviously needs mental health, and so they put me in a forensic psychiatric hospital to be stabilized and evaluated for competency to stand trial.
Oh, God.
So that was my experience, and that was actually where I went off meth, because I was locked up in it was a maximum security facility.
Oh my God.
For a few weeks, and I was fortunate enough to be able to basically get it's deferred adjudication with the trial. So I was on probation for 6 months, and then they dropped the charges afterwards, which is very lucky, because otherwise I'd have a felony. But then after a few weeks after checking out of the hospital, that I sank into the post-teen, the serious crash, depression. It was the most crushing depression I've ever been through in my life. I could just barely function day after day, and I was having to take Zyprexa, because that was what that was actually part of the corridor. I had to take Zyprexa for a year, as well as Wellbutrin, which didn't seem to help. And I was on Ativan for anxiety as well. And I was like a zombie for 6 months. It was the most miserable that's like to me the worst part of the whole crystal thing. I mean, except for like things that you do while you're on it is, having to kind of, people have a hard time kind of coming back to reality. Really really hard. And I was I was like a zombie for 6 months.